Welcome Spartans to Halo Headlines, part of Evolved, your home for Halo. In this week's recap, we will cover the top Halo headlines for the week of October 3rd to 10th. I'm your host Aaron, and with me today we've got Ian.
Hey there.
We have dragged Ian out for another midweek recording. We are slightly late with this week's show, we've all been a bit busy, but we get there, that's the important thing. Before we get started, we'd like to take a minute to thank all of our patrons for their continued support. Your contributions allow us to keep making the show and everything we do every week. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, seriously.
If you're not subscribed and would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/Halo Evolved, and there you can learn about the variety of rewards we have available to our patrons, such as unique swag, access to early episodes, access to our soundtrack, and the special Discord channel for patrons only. If you'd like to check out the other shows that are part of Evolved, head over to the website evolvedhalo.com and you can find links to all of our stuff. As for headlines, we've got one article really, that's it. It's been exceptionally quiet lately. It's actually painful trying to get Halo content out at the minute because I am at the stage now where I am trying to magic things out of nowhere. That's why there's no Halo Infinite Impressions this week, because I couldn't create a topic if my life depended on it. The other topics are all time sensitive for the end of the year. They relate to specific milestones when stuff comes out, and I can't speed those up. And I'm just like, I can't give you anything this week. So instead you get this headlines.
Well, hopefully we get some more news coming towards the end of the year. But yeah, right now it's very quiet.
Yeah, we need something. I don't know. It's just gone radio silent. Not that like we kind of knew once the roadmap came out that there wouldn't be a lot, but I thought there'd be more.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I thought we'd have more by now.
Another 3-4 weeks and hopefully then Forge is out, so that'll cheer us up a wee bit and keep us going for a while.
Yeah, there you go.
This week's big major article, probably the only thing that came out, was a rumour that has started to do the rounds that Halo might be switching engines. Specifically, the rumour is that Halo may be switching in some way, shape or form to Unreal. On October 2nd, there was a journalist called Jeremy Penter. He wrote a tweet online that said, "I can only confirm that many sources are saying this and very clear that it's already been decided and Halo is for sure switching to Unreal. I feel like it's time for other switches behind the scenes, including people leaving and their past problems. Unreal is a great choice." So, where this rumour basically starts is there a few people have been trying to narrow it down. You may be familiar with Jez Corden over at Windows Central. He does a lot of Xbox-y related stuff and digging there. And it seems like the rumoured Battle Royale mode, Tatanka, that it would appear that Creative Assembly are working on. Wait, no, Certain Affinity. We're like Creative Assembly, the people that made Halo Wars, isn't it? I just had such a brain fart there. They're both CA, that's what threw me. The Certain Affinity mode either has switched to Unreal or was possibly being made in Unreal from the get-go. There was a little bit more information here. It says that in conversations with 343i staff, past and present, who wish to remain anonymous, Halo Infinite's internal slipspace engine has been blamed for much of the problems with the game's ongoing development. Two separate sources describe the launch state of the slipspace developer tools as non-existent. Descriptions paint a bleak picture for contractors and new 343 industry staff who had to work with a difficult engine which was light on documentation and pipeline security. That's not really what you want to hear from your game developer.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. I think we heard, I don't remember what it was. It might have been towards initial launch about Slipspace Engine and how they've been having issues with it. And that's what was part of the reason why we had the year delay. Even so, it's pretty wild to say that this engine that they built specifically for this game is now so bad that they're just going to dump it and move to Unreal.
It sounds very reminiscent of like the troubles. Remember back at the start of Destiny 2 when all you heard about was how bad the Bungie engine was and the software and the developer tools and how much trouble they were having? I'm starting to get like flashbacks.
I don't remember all the details on that. I remember hearing forever ago about Halo that the old engine that they were using, it was just kind of cobbled together, and they've been updating it and updating it and updating it for years. And I think that was the reason why they said they wanted to go to a new engine, go to Slipspace, and start from scratch and build something that they really could use, which makes this all the more confusing. That I don't know what happened with that project, that it got so out of whack that they just don't have anything to even work. They can't even fix it. It seems like at this point it's better just to dump it and go to Unreal. Which, I mean, if that's the case, then better to do it now than later. But still, this is a pretty crazy change if this is true.
I can't help but feel like some of this, Jez Corden goes on to mention it later, but some of this may be coming on the back of Bonnie Ross stepping down and other people at 343 no longer being there. So the resistance to change may have finally gone, which is why we might be starting to hear these rumors in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, if, like I said, if it is that bad, it's good to dump it out and get it over with. Rip off the Band-Aid, so to speak. But it is baffling to me. Like, if you had said the Battle Royale game was going to be an Unreal, I would have said, okay, that's not super surprising. I suppose it's a separate game mode. Sounds like, at least the way Battle Royale has worked in other games, a lot of times that's kind of a separate part of the game versus the rest of it. So that wouldn't have surprised me that much. But to say that the entire game is going to switch over to that, I mean, I guess we don't know, but at some point in the future is just pretty crazy.
We'll go on here. I have a little bit more stuff that sort of covers some of this. So Jez Corden over in Windows Central says that YouTuber Sean W reported that Halo's Tatanka Battle Royale mode may be moving over to the Unreal Engine. If it wasn't there already, this would potentially mean dropping all of the work currently done in Slipspace. He says, initially I wrote off the report and it didn't make a whole lot of sense to drop 2+ years of Tatanka to move it all across to a new engine. But after speaking with Sean and doing some digging of my own, it's certainly looking increasingly as though Tatanka is either ditching Slipspace or was never on Slipspace from the outset. We have some tentative indications that Microsoft may be looking to move to the Unreal Engine across the whole franchise too, not just Tatanka, with 343 Industries getting ready to explore the future of the franchise. With 343 founder Bonnie Ross and Slipspace architect David Berger no longer with the company, it seems the studio is eager to explore new ways to adapt the fast pace of development in the shooter service game world. So, like, that's all we have now. I've read a little bit more where people are sort of saying, like, it could be that Tatanka would be Unreal, and it could be there was a trademark filed for Halo, the Halo Endless, which people think may be the trademark for like future campaign DLC, but no one knows sort of anything about that. But they're now starting to speculate and go, could that make the jump to Unreal? Could that be the jumping off point going forward, that Halo just changes completely? Although that would leave us in the position of having, I assume, Halo Infinite on its own and everything else moving on forward. So I don't know how that would work, because you either move Halo Infinite to a new engine, or it becomes trapped on its own and everything else going forward becomes something new, because you're not going to be able to like mix them.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how that works with Forge, because Forge is a big deal in Halo, and they've been touting it as this big. I haven't looked into it too much. I know it's coming out here soon. I just haven't had the time, but I know Forge has always been a big deal, and this new Forge is supposed to be even bigger. And I cannot imagine how you move something like that, a world-building engine built on an engine, to build it on a new engine.
Like, I don't know, do you hire some team of 10,000 programmers and go, right, this entire game needs ported to Unreal, go? I don't know what you do. Like, I know we've heard stories before. Microsoft has weird limits on what it can do with contractors. I believe they were taken to court once upon a time, so now they can't keep a contractor longer than 2 years without giving them a permanent job. And they don't, which means you get 2 years at the game and then you're off. So, like, staff are coming in, they're trying to get up to speed with this new engine that would appear that the tools and the learning process isn't there. And then just as they're up to speed, they're having to jump ship again. I could see that causing development issues.
Oh, for sure. I can see where the issues are happening. It just seems like, and I think I've said this before, it just seems like there's some sort of project management issue, or at least there was, and maybe this is getting that fixed. But because if you say they're building a new subspace engine, when we heard that back in what was it 2018, we were all really excited about that. But knowing how relatively few people 343 employs, that everything is contracted out, it just seems kind of crazy that they would have even tried that in the first place, to try to build their own engine and try to manage their own engine when they don't seem to have the bodies to do that.
There's not really too much more to this now. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens in the next while, because they talked about, like, to quote the Bungie thing, they talked about like a 10-year plan for Infinite, but how does that look? If they ditch these tools going forward and they ditch this engine and they move to Unreal, and what way will all this go? Like, there's so much to think about. Like you said, the Battle Royale mode being separate could make total sense if it was just a hopper launching from within the game or whatever, if it was its own thing. But some of the rumours out there, and Jez Gordon said this as well, that the original Tatanka rumours they heard very much stated that Forge would be a part of this game mode and Forge would work its way into it. So, like, is that not going to be a thing now? Well, what happens with that in the long run? If you have a Battle Royale in Unreal, are they then going to remake Forge in Unreal for it and have a separate Forge in Infinite and try and, like, pair the two of them up that they work the same way? I don't know, it seems a bit messy.
It does, and I think once we actually get some actual information on this supposed Battle Royale mode, I think that might clue us in as to where they're going, because if this is going to be Halo Infinite, whatever you call it, Battle Royale, if it's branded as part of Halo Infinite, and if it is indeed in the Unreal Engine, I think that probably points to the fact that they are going to move everything over, or at least move what they can over to Unreal and go with Unreal going forward. This becomes like kind of a standalone Battle Royale. It's Halo Battle Royale. It's not Halo Infinite. I think that might tell us maybe we're going to just dump Halo Infinite, at least, in terms of branding, and move on to a new, like Destiny went to Destiny 2, I guess Halo, whatever you call it.
If everything came out as a, Halo Endless, Halo whatever, so be it, and they were all self-contained things, like, I suppose that would be all right if they can extract the multiplayer or rebuild the multiplayer in Unreal and keep it in Forge maybe going on its own. Like, that could be okay. But it just becomes a clunky set of things. I would love in an ideal world that it was like Master Chief Collection and everything just lived in the one game. I really can't see how that'll go now. So yeah, we need more information from all this, but it seems like I get the feeling things might be shaking up a bit now that people are out. And there's quite a few people out now this last while. Like, we heard as well, I think, was it Chris Lee that was working on Infinite? Like, I've seen a few rumours here and there that there may have been a few things that can be attributed back to him, like just not revealing the true state of things, and now you hear more stuff like this, and the state of the engine and the state of the tools, and possibly the people that may have been defending it, they're gone, so there's no one there with a dog in that fight. Exactly.
I don't think we're ever going to, know definitively where the fault lies. Who was the one who, either we're just being overambitious or just did manage the work poorly. I don't know, what that answer is, but regardless, we're going to be talking about this for a while, because you're not going to switch over engines, even if they started this, say, 6 months ago, or even they started this as soon as Infinite launched. This is a multi-year project, so we'll be talking about this for a while.
Yeah, that's it. I think once we see what comes out of this Tatanka mode and what certain Affinity have been working on, then we'll hopefully know a little more. But that's pretty much it. We don't have a lot of other Halo news. It's been very bleak. I said to him before the show, when you go searching for Halo news, there's been 2 or 3 articles lately, and then silence for about a month. There's not been too much of anything coming out.
Yeah, and this is all just rumors.
Yeah, it's that run up to Christmas quiet spell. I think once we get Forge mode next month, things should pick up a little bit. That's where all our episodes, the next impressions, we should hopefully have all the I think our next impressions is actually the lore on the Fracture event this month, and then the next one after that in November will be all the details on Forge before it drops. We should have all the Forge videos by then. If you haven't seen them already, go over to Waypoint. There are 3 videos available at the time of recording, I believe, going over the just the general Forge and building stuff, the AI and bots and lighting and stuff like that. You can go have a look. We get one more video and then we're going to go over all that. And we're almost at December then, so that's nearly us. Peace out for the year. It's been a weird long year, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. I need more news. I need more something.
Because otherwise, we've been having conversations about how many shows we do every month next year, because if it's like this, I don't know what we're going to do. So we're going to have to work on that.
Yeah, definitely going to have to rework the schedule. We've been putzing around for 2 years waiting for regular Halo content to come out, and it's still kind of just trickling out.
I need about 17 novels next spring. That will cure everything. If we could do that, we could just go back to the good old days.
Yeah, that would be nice. Not going to happen, but that would be nice.
Otherwise, we're starting my cookery show where I make one recipe out of the Halo cookbook every week, so...
I told you, you do that.
No, people will die, there will be food poisoning, it'll be awful. It's just going to be terrifying, so we'd really like to avoid that, thank you.
No, I think that'd be great.
Okay, guys, look, thank you for joining us for another Halo Headlines. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, if you've enjoyed this and our other episodes, go check out the website, evolvedhalo.com. It has links to all of our shows like Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Builds with Blocks, Halo Gear Guide, Halo TV Plus, and the Halo Book Club. There may also be a new thing coming soon, Ian. I'm not going to mention what it is, but there's a thing you're working on, isn't there?
There's a couple things I'm working on. People will hear about it hopefully within a month or so.
Excellent. So keep an eye out on the website for that. Ian's doing more stuff. If it all goes on fire, Ian broke it. That's all that we're going to say.
It's always my fault.
Yeah. Oh yes, before we go, listen to Josh and Will over at HCS Pro Talk for all of your competitive Halo news. The competitive Halo scene is still chugging along quite nicely. There's HCS stuff, things are happening. I saw a clip Halo posted the other day on Instagram where someone was rappelling through a level on the grapple hook and no-scoped someone with a sniper. It was amazing. I don't believe these people are real.
No, I don't think they are.
Also, occasionally you might see me and David playing because David's got the bug. He's back.
Good.
Yeah, it's bad times. Once again, another shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you for supporting us and helping make everything possible. Head to patreon.com/Halo Evolved to learn more. And with that, I have been your host, and until next time, evolved.
Evolved.